Do you like your whiskey to taste like a fruit bowl floating along in a fresh breeze? Want a dram that feels like stuffing apples and pears in your gob by the fistful? Well, this is the video for you. Stepping away from the more dense and intense flavours that are often more cask dominated, I'm very much focusing at the drams that are at the heart of my whiskey journey right now. With this video, today I'm highlighting and focusing on flavour and providing a rundown of my top 5 fresh and fruity Scotch whiskies which are well worth trying. Covering whiskies so fresh and fruity you can hit your 5 a day in a couple of drams, but this is not a place for medical science, so grab a dram or 5 and join me, Jeff Whisky, as we go through another list. And if that sounds good, slap a like and let's crack on.
Jeff Whisky.
So we are talking drams that taste like springtime, orchard picnics, maybe like a cheeky Bakewell tart. Here I've kind of summarised the flavours as fresh and fruity. They could also be classed as lighter whiskies, maybe gentler drams, sometimes fizzy. So today, no sherry bombs, no peat monsters. These are light, bright, zingy whiskies where often the spirit itself does the talking. Fresh apples, pears, peaches, citrus zest, melon, you get the vibe. And starting with a fantastically fizzy Benromach contrasts, high enzyme. Now Benromach is normally known for lightly smoky, a bit dirty, a bit edgy, a bit funky, but this geeky experiment contrasts that beautifully. Using a high enzyme mash which basically boosts fermentation sugars and it encourages a fruit salad explosion in the spirit. Compared to other releases of them, it's a much more subtle, softer nose. You got lots of green apples, not quite ripe pears. It's before that small window of 20 seconds where they are ripe before they turn to sloppy mush. Yeah, like a bit of kiwi, bit of lime in those pineapple cube sweets. The taste has a brilliant fizz to it. Effervescence, that fancy word which I'm not going to go under trying to get it right. If you liked the massively well-loved Aquaviti Loch Lomond, that sparkling fruit bomb, this is well worth trying. Yeah, like light fruits, apples, pears, citrus, and it is still biscuity, and being Benromach, there is that kind of slight funk in there, but again, it's on that lighter side and it is really banging stuff. Terry, a fellow Benromach champion, described this brilliantly as a beach whiskey, and I'll happily sit on the beach with this all day. A real kind of masterclass in spirit-driven freshness. Benromach's new make spirit is fantastic, and this takes it to the light side.
Ironic.
Next, we're going to a new bottle on my shelf. Now, I blame the pretty hefty peaty, earthy, dense drams for this soft purchase. I love Lecheg, so it was about time I focused on the non-peated side, which has the distillery name. So that's Tobermory, and I've gone with the 12-year-old. This core single malt from Tobermory distillery on the Isle of Mull, and it's just a cracking example of a modern, well-made island whiskey that doesn't shout, but it just quietly impresses. The unpeated side of the distillery, and it's matured in American oak ex-bourbon cask for the 12 years, I think fully matured. I'm sure editor Jeff can tell me otherwise. The result is a whiskey that kind of leans into the freshness, balance, and just kind of like slightly gentle coastal seaside notes. It's a healthy 46.3% ABV, no chill filtration, natural colour, green ticks for us enthusiasts, and it's just brilliantly priced. The sniff gives green fruits, but kind of more maybe orange peel, light honey. Yeah, almost like a slight rain on slate, that kind of, is it petrichor note? And there's kind of like a nice, like, I don't know, maybe prickly pear, bit of spiciness to it. Plenty of sweet citrus, toffee. Again, like really soft spice, a little bit murky, but still in a clean way.
This is not possible!
Don't think that makes any sense. You do also get that tiny hint of maritime malt, like somehow a sea breeze has gotten your gob somehow. Just really enjoyable, clean, buttery apples. Clean stuff, fantastic. I think at times some people might see it as a bit simple, but for me that's its strength, how it's such a pure, well-balanced whiskey. Overall, it's like a really approachable, well-crafted, solid bottle for like easy, not daily drinking, but you know, an easy one to reach for. Proof that you don't need peat to have personality, but the Lecheg is lovely. Check out my Whiskey of 2025 for that. But yeah, really good stuff. Next we're going to a bottle which blew me away when I tried it blind. One in truth I would have been hesitant of if I hadn't tried it beforehand. This is the Kaiser Chief's favourite bottle, Malt Riot. Now this blended malt produced by Glasgow Distillery, it has malted whiskey from all over Scotland, with Glasgow 1770 single malt being the core of it. For me, it's one of those affordable whiskies that quietly over-delivers. I think it's also in some supermarkets at the moment. Now, to be clear, this is 40% ABV, which I know puts some people off, but as a bottle which is commonly marketed to be mixed, I really enjoy this neat and find it almost a one ingredient cocktail. It's a light, very accessible, loaded with fruits. Generally thought this is one of those fruit bomb bimbers that used to be put out in their glory days. The nose has like lots and lots of melon, apricots, apricot yogurts, frubes, and just like a very sweet nose, possibly like a bit white chocolatey. I do actually find it a bit like Old Pulteney 12. Tasting wise though, it is vanilla. I want to say fresh linen, just based on what you see on soaps, like kind of what you'd imagine fresh linen would taste like, not soap. A bit like a pre-made highball. Now, to say off the bat, it is on the thinner side, especially compared to the higher proof single malts, but it has so much fruit carried in it, it's dangerously accessible and easy. A bit like my old Tinder tagline. There is like a little bit of prickly pear, a little floral, and just bags and bags and bags of honeydew melon. Like this is a real melon to the melon and just sweet and easy. Again, bit like me. I fear this is turning into like one of those 80s dating videos.
I'm spontaneous. I like to go on trips. You knock on my door, you say, hey, we're going to Vegas. Woo, I'm up. I don't care. Let's go to Vegas. Let's gamble.
I do wonder what a bit more ABV could bring. Maybe a bit more viscosity to it, which would be nice, but I wouldn't want to lose those friendly fresh fruits. I am a fanboy of Glasgow whiskey, and come spring, a good glass of this, no snobbery, no preconceptions, just solid, easy, simple, but well-made stuff. But don't worry purists, we're going back into safe territory with possibly the purest, cleanest and welcoming handshake of Scotch, and that is Glencadam 10. Yes, the bottle I didn't shut up about in 2025 is once again back with me rambling on about it. I owe plenty to the brilliant Sabrina who opened my eyes to this dram finally after being so late to the party, and now I'm going to be diving deeper into this secret Scotch superstar. While it does get mentioned in whiskey circles, I do feel it's criminally underrated. However, maybe the enthusiasts may start to overlook it now following their not the best received recent rebranding. From removing their heritage style label for a more safe and market centered bottle as part of this whiskey blandification, maybe it'll draw more new people to it, but time will tell. I have seen the comments, and yes, the branding and design video is coming. It'll just take a bit of time because that's one of the few videos where I need to sound like I know what I'm talking about. I have actually done my own rebranding of this bottle, as I lost the cork and the only one that fits best was a Craigellachie one, and I quite like the silhouette that it makes now, where it's a bit more bulbous at the top. Granted, it's not as unique as the Lag bottle, which was discussed intently on the last stream.
A modern look.
Oh, to be honest, it's quite easy for them to change from a butt plug to a more flat kind of style. But again, this is one of these bottles when you hold it in your hand and you realise these ripples on the glass.
Also, for some ASMR, the bottle label itself is lifting up. Probably because it just gets dirt cold in here. The sniff on the snout is just full of farm shop apple juice, vanilla sponge cakes, and it's a little bit of a flowery malt. The palate is where it really parties. Not a loud, bombastic thing, but the type of parties where you're turning 34, where it's quiet, relaxed, peaceful, and enjoyable. I hope my family are watching this video. Again, it's like orchardy with pears and apples. There's certainly a theme which we'll dive in even deeper in a minute. Maybe a bit of lemon sherbet, very creamy, a bit chalky, A lovely light sweetness. The texture is a bit oily, but in the best way, and that slight prickly flavour lasts a while after each sip. This is the whiskey equivalent of opening a window in a warm morning. Not hot or freezing, but it's just that refreshing and bright way to start a day. From doing this video, I noticed there's so many other bottles which could have made the list. The new Lockley Orchard and Oak has that fruity notes with a kind of sharp, bright, tangy lemon side to it. Glenlivet licensed dram is a real cutie fruity with lots of fresh orchard fruits, but now it is really hard to come by a bottle at a good price. I know it's not Scotch, but the Cotswold Witchwood Harvest release is like a sweet strawberry sensation, surprisingly well balanced. And of course, as well as a previously mentioned Loch Lomond, the Aquavite release, which is the fizziest fruit bomb so far. But of course, you know what the next and final one for this video is going to be. You cannot talk about these orchard flavours without the one which has been blended beautifully for this flavour. I'm talking about the Scrumpy of Scotch, Compass Box Orchard House. Again, this is a bottle I've talked about a lot over the last couple of years. An absolute flavour-filled blended malt featuring distilleries like Clyneish and Linkwood, has some of the fruitiest powerhouses of Scotland creating this blend. It's kind of a dram that goes with any moment, one that I actually have 2 bottles on the go. One in here and the one in the kitchen, which really helps with the cooking, though not as an ingredient.
Why on earth are you making chocolate pudding?
Because I've lost control of my life.
You've got fresh apple slices, green apples, crunchy apples, mildly fermented apples. Then it's paired with pears and this sweet soft aroma. The sip is literally just a repeat of what I said, so I'm just going to rewind it back. You got fresh apple slices, green apples, crunchy apples, mildly fermented apples, pears, berries, green tea. It's elegant and summery, and again, it's dangerously drinkable. For me, this is a whiskey which is great for newbies and nerds. You've got the full Compass Box transparency, and it really is a peach. But I want to know, which fruity dram have I missed out, or what flavour category would you like me to tackle next? A huge thank you to the patrons who keep the channel running and get to enjoy bonus content, and the YouTube channel members. I'm grateful to have you all here. All the best, and cheers the next one.